So, Linda, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
We are Riccardo from Museo del Sintetizzatore Marchigiano and Francesco from Soundmit. I don't know if you know that Marchigiano is the name of our region where we live, and which is Marche region is in the center of Italy. And
I looked it up. I know it now.
Yeah. And we are famous because we had a lot of factories that build instruments like Farfisa, like Krumar, like Elgam, like Logan, and many.
I saw the photographs of it. Big, lots of people working.
Yeah. And now things is a bit changed because of the China, because of the Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But lots of people are still involved in doing musical instruments, and that what we do. We try to find all the history of the districts or from the Marche region, and we have also something that is Italian, and the Synket is the first Italian synthesizer ever made, and for us is like the holy grail of our research. And
good.
And thanks to Francesco in your first chat 2 years ago, we are able to discover this incredible piece that we are trying to restore and let them play. Can you tell us something of you? What you're doing? Where are you living?
Okay. I'm Linda Pointer. There's my name on the screen. At the moment, I'm living in Clearwater, Florida for the past 30 years. I have just retired yesterday from my job. From my job teaching at the
we don't have a bottle.
Yeah, bring it on. Retired from my job teaching at a college here, where I've been teaching humanities for a very long time. I'm married to Ferdinand Pointer. He is a harpsichord builder, and he also repairs and works on all kinds of musical instruments, not electronics so much, but acoustic musical instruments. Although he does the modern player pianos, he works on them. He installs the modern players and repairs them and so forth. So we live in Clearwater, Florida, where the Synket has been in a storeroom for a long time. And I am so happy that now it can come out and go back to its ancestral home and live again. I'm very happy about all of this.
Yeah, this was a great honor for us to take this instrument that to let all the people that is listening now, you wrote us an history of the instrument and history of you with the instrument. I think this is important for all around, that we can try to talk about your story, and your story related with the instrument, with the Synket. You begin to study music with John Eaton. Is clear.
Yes, at Indiana University, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, I didn't know anything about electronic music. I learned everything there. I grew up in Mississippi, in the southern part of the United States. That's the first college I went to for my bachelor's degree. And so when I came to Indiana, everything about electronic music was brand new to me, but it was very fascinating, very interesting. I've had a wonderful, wonderful time in that world, in those circles.
Okay. And John Eaton, did he just have the Synkets with him? He just met KETOFF. When you know John Eaton, he just had the synthesizer with him.
Well, at the college, the Synket was his private instrument, and he had it at home. And then at the college, we had those mini Moogs. and because he didn't want anybody messing with his Synket. But then after a while, Judith Martin, another one of his students, began to learn to play the Synket, and that went well, and he was happy about that. And then I began to learn to play it, and that went well. And then, as I told you in my story, John helped me buy my own Synket from Bill Smith. So after that, pretty soon after that, John and I worked together for 2 years, and then I went to live in Europe. I had that Fulbright grant to study in Belgium, and I went to live there. And like you saw in my story, went to the Darmstadt courses and did a lot of things with electronic music then with a lot of different people.
Okay. Did you told about the friendship between Eaton and Bob Moog? Did you ever meet Moog?
Oh yes, of course. My husband and I have and he pronounces his name Moog to rhyme with Moog. Anyway, yeah, of course we knew him. He came there, but also in later life, in the 80s, he was in Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah. He had a whole nother business there. My husband and I have a cabin in Asheville, outside Asheville in Black Mountain. And we would go over there to his shop in Asheville. And my husband was very interested in all the latest developments, and they would talk electronic stuff and there. So, okay. Yeah, we knew him many times. We knew him well.
And you know that Moog is very important for our story because he some of the Moog keyboard was made here, like this satellites, and he was a part of the project of the Spirit, the Chroma Spirit, which is one of our most important synthesizer. And we know that Moog had a meet with Ketoff because he was very interested about the Synket, and he tried to ask him to work for him in the USA, but Ketoff
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we there is a couple of letters in which Bob Moog tried to ask Ketoff to go to the USA, but prefer to remain in Rome. And can you tell us something about the moment you decide to purchase the Synket from Bill Smith? Why he sold?
From Bill Smith. Yeah. Well, I was involved in a lot of recitals, and I was playing always the Mini Moog, and I like that little instrument, but it can't do what the Synket can do. And I loved playing the Synket, and I just wanted to have my own because I knew I could do a lot more different things. I will tell you a story that I didn't put in my writing because I didn't think about it. Judith Martin, who had the Synket, also had her own. We read a book about the life of Bela Bartok, and he described in the book was described a woman who came from the United States to study with him. And we realized that woman lived in Bloomington, Indiana, where we were. And so we went up to her house and knocked on the door and said, "We are music students. Can we talk to you about Bartok?" And she was very gracious. And I don't remember her name, but she was very gracious and invited us in, and we had tea. And she came. At first she said, "No, I'm not interested in electronic music. It's not what I care about." But we said, "Please come and hear our program. Come and hear us play." And after the program, she said, "I didn't believe in this music until I heard you two girls play. And I saw you lift your hand, and I knew that this is really music."
Yeah, and the one of the big present you gave it to us is the tape inside the box that we find of the recording of the the Synket.
I don't even know what was in there. I don't even know what that was. I think some of it was piano music also, right?
Yes, but there is John Eaton playing the Synket.
Yeah.
In a solo piece, and I think there was you playing the Synket, and it's very, very incredible. Is so modern. Is the music that we listening today is really incredible. Yeah. And do you know where Judith take his Synket? Because we have a list. Is one of John Eaton.
I don't know. I've tried to research that, and I can't find her. I don't know. But her name is Judith Martin, Martin. I will continue to see if I can locate her.
Okay. And can you tell us something about the story of the speaker, which is
no. I'm so ashamed of that speaker. Okay. Well, I told you we had that festival up in Haines Falls, and all of us were students. We were very, very, very poor, very poor. It's amazing to me how we did any of that stuff. I mean, we ate bread, but it was difficult in that house. We had electricity, but it was a very old house. So maybe in each room there was one little plug and the electricity wasn't so good. If you plugged in a lot of things, all the electric went down and everything was dark. So it was difficult for me to get to use the Synket because I didn't have audio. And so I went everywhere, to every thrift store and junk store, and bought some boards and bought some wire, and we all kind of cobbled it together so that I could have a speaker. I did have a little tiny soldering iron that I took everywhere with me. So I put my little wires together and made a speaker.
Okay.
And then it worked. So I just never bought a bigger, better one, you know.
It's very nice to have something that was used with a Synket made from you. It's very nice. And can you tell us something about your period in Darmstadt? You say that you was in classroom with Stockhausen.
Yeah.
And that you have played together. Can you tell us something on?
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Darmstadt courses? What that was? It was called the holiday courses. They had it. Well, they had it every summer for many, many years. John Cage was often there. I was never there the same time as John. I met him in New York from time to time, but I was never close to him, and I was never in Darmstadt when he was there. But well, here's another story. So one day in Darmstadt, I had arrived a couple of days before the festival started. And so I was walking around the town looking, and there was a pond with ducks. So I'm feeding some bread to the ducks. And there was this very nice man there, and we began to talk and chat about the ducks and about things. And after a while, he stuck out his hand and he said, "Ich bin Ligeti." I went, "Oh!" And then I was unable to say another word. But he was a very nice man. I love his choral music. I love his music. But the classes, you went there, you know, it's like every other German institution. There was no fee, just the fee for lodging and food. And they gave classes, and you took the classes that you wanted. And so I was interested in electronics. So I took the classes with Stockhausen, and that consisted of him talking to us about how to play various pieces of his. I know that one of the pieces we worked on was Hymnen. I don't know if you know that. It had a lot of songs from different countries. There was another piece that was about flags, and everybody had a little flag and waved it, and we played, electronic instruments. But mostly, the class would last about 2 hours, and about half of it we would be playing, and he would critique the playing, and the other half he would speak. Okay. And then the piano classes I had with Alois Kantarski, we played pieces. It's like a master class. We played various pieces, and in that class I played piano, not the Synket. I played piano pieces. Other Americans who were there, Gordon Muma, I don't know if you know that name. He was there. Namjoon Paik was there once, very short amount of time. Reshevsky was often there. Let me think, who else? Hugh Davis from London was there. And that was where I met Gottfried and Monique Darge and joined their performing group in Belgium.
Okay. And you write us that one time you opened the Johns Mellencamp concert. How can you mix the kind of electronic music you do with the one?
Oh, he was very into it.
Yeah.
At that particular time, he was going by the name Johnny Cougar.
Yeah.
And he was just a little boy from the country. And, he was trying to make it big, which he did. But he was just looking for anything and everything that would be exciting and interesting. And one of his friends was the boyfriend of Judy Martin. And so that's how that came to be. But he loved it. And of course, the audience that came to hear him, they were very surprised by us.
I'm sure about it.
They liked it. They liked it because he said they should like it, so they did.
Can we talk about the technique of the Synkets? I found in the box some microphone that appear to be.
I never used that microphone.
Okay. So you use the Synket alone, not with the internal. Okay.
Right.
And when you met Ketoff to do the works of the Synket, can you remember something about him or what he doing to the instrument?
Well, we drove to Rome from Belgium. We were living in Belgium, and I was having trouble with the keyboards. The keyboards weren't connecting properly, and I really didn't understand why. And I don't know, personally myself, I'm not an electronics person, as you can see by that speaker. Anyway, so I contacted him. I wrote him a letter. We didn't have email then. And it was very difficult to telephone to somebody in Italy, especially from Belgium.
Yeah.
When I lived in Belgium, they still wrote down your bank deposits with a pen in a ledger. So I wrote him a letter. He was very nice. He said, I'd love to see that Synket again. So we came to Rome. I went to his house, he and his wife. I was there with my 2 children. They gave us some drinks and a sandwich and so forth. And he asked me to come back the next day. It was a very interesting day because we had everything. All right. That was the summer that I was moving from Mechelen, where I had been studying at the Caroline School. And I was going to go to the Edinburgh Festival and then live in Brussels. Mm-hmm. So we had almost everything we owned in our car. So we went down to the beach, and while we were in the water, paddling around in the water, somebody unlocked our car and stole everything we owned out of the car. And I just did not know what to do. And I sat down on the pavement and began to cry. And people gathered around. Oh, what's the matter? What's the matter? So I told them, and they were very kind. a lady called the police to come, and all the people standing around, they took up a collection and gave us like $12, I think. But it was enough that we were camping, my children and I, we were camping in a tent camping place. And I'm just so happy that the Synket wasn't in my car.
Yeah.
I guess they would have taken that as well. So, but we lived through all of that. So here we are.
Okay. Okay. And so I saw, I've written, your Synket is different from the other one because it has 3 volumes in the last row. I don't know if you remember. There are, because all the picture that we saw around has just one volume. And I saw written something like drum or bass. Do you remember why?
Well, I believe, I don't know if this is true, but I believe that mine, it was the 4th one made, and that a few things had been changed. I'm not sure. I'm not positive about that, but I've always believed that. Exactly what the differences were, I don't really know.
Okay.
I didn't ever play John's Synket. He let Judy play it, but not me.
He was jealous.
I mean, you know, I did once in a while, but I could never take it away and play with it. So.
Okay. Okay. And the last question: when did you turn this on last time? Do you remember?
Oh. I guess. Okay. When I married my husband, we lived in Birmingham, Alabama. And I think it must have been during that time was the last time I played it. And then we moved here in 1985. So it hasn't been played since 85.
Okay. 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 Because we tried to turn this on.
I didn't dare try it.
And it made a big smoke, white smoke. But we are, don't worry, because we are trying to repair and try to if we are able to let this here, just some notes for this live. So when we are live, I hope today the Synket, I hope that is working again. And then we will restore it completely to just let other people that is studying, that is trying to experimental at music. That then I think is we are trying to let the people use the instruments.
Yeah,
we don't like to put this in a closed place that just to be watched, but an instrument that can be played again.
Yeah, the instrument at Indiana University, I'm not sure if that is John's instrument, if he donated it to Indiana University. I don't know. I think so.
Yeah. Yes.
That's true. Yeah. And they say it's not playable. I don't know why, because he played it all the time. I mean,
I think they didn't have the keyboard. Just have the central unit. I don't know. I read somewhere that they didn't have the keyboard. And
well, I played it a lot without the keyboard. I played it a lot just from the oscillators.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is very nice. Okay, I think I finished the question. Now everything is clear.
Good.
And if you have to say something, we are here.
I had looked up on the internet how to say best wishes in Italian, but now I don't find it.
Tanti auguri.
I remember that the word looked like the English word augury.
Sì, yeah, tanti auguri.
Auguri. Tanti auguri.
Thank you, Linda. It was a very pleasure for us to meet you. Yeah.
Good luck to all of you.
Grazie.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, Linda.
Bye.
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 Bye.